You don't say yes because you want to. You say yes because you're scared to lose love. That's the ugly truth of people-pleasing. It looks like kindness, generosity, selflessness, but at its root, it's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear that if you say no, you won't be chosen. And here's the paradox. The very thing you're using to keep love is the thing that drains it. Because people-pleasing doesn't create intimacy. It creates performance, and a performance is exhausting, shallow, and eventually collapses. Let's pull this apart. People-pleasing is the fawn response dressed up as virtue. You've heard of fight, flight, freeze, but there's a fourth, fawn. The nervous system's desperate attempt to stay safe by appeasing, by becoming who others want you to be. Fawning feels like being overly agreeable, smiling when you don't mean it, saying yes when your gut is screaming no, keeping quiet so no one gets uncomfortable, pretending you're fine when you're not. It looks like kindness, but it's actually fear wearing makeup. And here's why. Somewhere in your past, maybe as a child, maybe in your first relationships, you learned that love was conditional. You learned that being yourself was risky, so you adapted. You became the girl who made herself easy to love. You dimmed down your anger, swallowed your disappointment, bent yourself into whatever shape made others happy. Because if they were happy, you were safe. And that wiring, it didn't go away when you grew up. It stayed inside your nervous system. Now, every time you want to say no, your body panics, your chest tightens, your mind floods with what if they get mad? What if they leave? What if I disappoint them? So you say yes, not out of generosity, but out of survival. Let's get even deeper. This isn't just psychology, this is biology. Your nervous system is programmed to choose survival over authenticity. And when you were young, survival meant staying connected to the people who fed you, housed you, or validated you. So your body decided, if I shrink myself, I stay safe. Fast forward to today, you're no longer that child. But your body hasn't gotten the memo. It still believes that saying no will cost you love. It still believes that if you set a boundary, you'll end up alone. So you betray yourself over and over again, and the world praises you for it. They call you sweet, caring, selfless, reliable, strong. But what they don't see is that inside, you're resentful, you're drained, you're invisible, you're angry that nobody takes care of you the way you take care of them, while secretly terrified of what will happen if you stop. And let's talk about feminine guilt, because if you're a woman, you've been trained since birth to believe that your worth is in your service, that being good means being compliant, that being desirable means being agreeable, that your softness only has value if it's given to others at the expense of yourself. We celebrate women who give endlessly. We shame women who dare to say no, and this conditioning becomes a cage. Every time you think about saying no, you don't just feel fear, you feel guilt. A guilt so thick it convinces you that boundaries are cruelty and self-sacrifice is love. But that's a lie, because true kindness requires honesty. And people-pleasing is not honest. It's manipulation, not conscious manipulation, but nervous system manipulation. You're trying to control the outcome by being what others want so they don't leave. You're giving not from abundance, but from fear, and anything given from fear cannot create real intimacy. Here's the cost. When you live in people-pleasing, you lose yourself. You don't know your own desires because you're too busy mirroring theirs. You don't know your real voice because you've muted it for so long. You don't know what true love feels like because you've never given anyone the chance to love you. Only the version of you that bends, appeases, and performs. And worst of all, you start to resent everyone around you because they keep taking, and they will, not because they're evil, but because you've trained them to. You've taught them that your no is negotiable, that your limits are flexible, that your love is endless. But endless giving without boundaries is not love, it's self-abandonment. So what's the way out? First, you have to see your yes for what it really is. Not kindness, not generosity, fear of being unloved, fear of being left, fear of being not enough. Until you name it, you'll keep pretending your exhaustion is virtue. Second, you have to learn how to sit in the discomfort of disappointing people. This is where the nervous system reprogramming comes in. The first time you say no, your body will panic, your guilt will scream, You'll feel like you're betraying the world. But this is the detox of a lifetime of fawning, and the more you sit through it, the more your body learns. I can say no and still be loved. I can set a boundary and survive. Third, you have to practice micro boundaries. You don't need to start by rejecting your mother's expectations or your boss's demands. Start smaller. Next time someone asks something of you, don't answer immediately. Breathe. Say, "Let me think about it." This simple sentence gives you space. It interrupts the automatic yes and forces you to check in with yourself. Do I want this? Or am I scared to say no? Fourth, you need to start surrounding yourself with people who respect no. Because if your entire world is built on relationships that only thrive when you're giving, you'll never feel safe enough to change. But when you find those rare people who love you with or without the yes, you'll realize real love doesn't demand self-abandonment. Now let's be brutally honest. People-pleasing is not only killing your relationships, it's killing you because your body keeps score. Suppressed anger becomes exhaustion. Swallowed boundaries become anxiety. Chronic guilt becomes depression. You call it burnout, but it's really your soul screaming for honesty. Your nervous system is tired of contorting itself to be loved. Your feminine energy is tired of being drained in service of everyone else's comfort. And your heart is tired of being unseen while the world applauds your kindness. So here's your wake-up call. Your people-pleasing is not kindness, it's fear. And fear cannot be the foundation of love. Love requires truth. Love requires boundaries. Love requires you to show up as you are, not as what others demand you to be. The world doesn't need another woman who says yes to everything. The world needs a woman who says no with conviction. The world needs a woman whose kindness comes from fullness, not from emptiness. The world needs a woman who knows her worth is not tied to her service. And that woman, she's already inside you. She's just buried under layers of fear and guilt that never belonged to you in the first place. So here's your practice. Next time someone asks you for something and you feel that automatic yes rising in your throat, stop, breathe, and say, "Let me think about it." It's a small sentence, but it's revolutionary because it gives you time to listen to yourself before betraying yourself. And every time you do it, you're teaching your body, my no matters. My boundaries matter. My worth does not depend on keeping everyone happy. This is how you rewire. This is how you reclaim. This is how you finally transform kindness from fear into truth. So let me leave you with this. The next time you're about to people please, ask yourself, am I doing this out of love or out of fear? If it's fear, stop, breathe. And remember, you were born worthy of love, whether you say yes or no. Your people pleasing is not kindness, it's fear. And fear is no longer running your life. Practice it. Say it. Claim it. Practice saying, "Let me think about it," the next time you want to say yes too fast. And if this message spoke to you, subscribe to Goddess Vibration and comment "No is sacred" to claim it.